Now at 8 o'clock, another KGW weather impact alert day. Rod Hill forecasting temperatures in the mid-90s again today. He's also forecasting some relief later this week. Exactly when? Coming up. Plus,
when the heat hits, what would be a kind of a routine structure fire for us becomes a lot more difficult.
Firefighters battling flames and the heat as multiple fires break out over the weekend. What you can do to keep your home safe.
And it's back to school week for kids around the area, including kids in the Estacada School District. But the district there is sending students home early both today and tomorrow because of this heat. We'll have more on that as we kick off the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill also on board for this 8 o'clock hour. Rod, we start with you here and a look at the forecast.
Yeah, let's start with the cool down spot. The coast was sunny 80s on Friday, Saturday. Yesterday was the day. It did turn out to be foggy. I thought maybe yesterday would still be sunny, but it wasn't. And we're starting off foggy this morning, or at least cloudy, from Schnookins Casino Resort in Lincoln City, 59 degrees. Again, most areas probably not much sun today, and temperatures in the 60s. So that is the cool off zone. Portland, partly cloudy this morning. We're in the 67-degree number right now, and we'll be 80 at noon. And then we have an impact alert for another hot day, back up into the mid-90s potentially. Humidity levels today running 30%, which should be a little bit higher in the heat of the afternoon than we have been the last couple of days. So stay hydrated. Take a break. If you're out there in the sun, you're starting to feel yourself get a little tired. Here's Chris.
Missouri boy warning us of the high humidity. Okay, let's get you back to the drive here on I-5 southbound. Photojournalist Eric Patterson is stuck in that commute near Rosa Parks. It's a little thick, but it's moving. I mean, for all intents and purposes here, this isn't terrible. 14 miles an hour, though, the drive right there through that stretch of North Portland. 16 minutes get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge this morning. Over on the west side, there's a live look at the sunset. The slowest part of that drive right now appears to be between about Murray and Cedar Hills Boulevard. And that said, 24 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough is not that bad for this hour of a Monday morning drive. Guys?
All right, thank you, Chris. Multnomah County is reporting Portland's first potential death from this ongoing heat wave. The county says a 56-year-old man was found dead on Saturday. Officials didn't give an exact location, only saying that he was found in or near the Pearl District. It could be weeks or even months before the man's death is officially determined to be heat-related.
High weekend temperatures also played a role in sparking fires over the weekend, and local firefighters say the heat made it more difficult to fight those fires.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz live in downtown this morning. So Thomas, what else did firefighters say about these conditions?
Well, guys, they say those high temperatures really take a toll on them. Not only does it make it more difficult to fight fires, it's also a lot more draining. And this weekend, there's fires all over our area in Portland, Forest Grove, and Hillsborough. Also across the Columbia and Vancouver, firefighters were busy. Portland firefighters released these photos at a house fire. Those firefighters you can see there look exhausted as they battle a fire in the heat. Crews say they have to take a different approach when they fight fires in really hot weather.
So when you have what would be normally on a typical day a small-ish outside fire, it's going to grow, fed by the heat, by the wind, and it's going to just take off a lot faster on you. So it takes a lot more aggressive efforts to make a difference early on.
Firefighters say heat and dry conditions can also lead to brush fires. In Forest Grove, fire crews battled a brush fire that threatened a home this weekend. And up in Vancouver, nearly 5 acres of brush burned, coming dangerously close to homes and power lines. Now, crews tell us that also when there are these high temperatures like we've seen this weekend, it's really important to follow burn bans that are in effect. They also mentioned that if you live close to brush, have an evacuation plan ready just in case you need to go. Drew, China.
Thank you, Thomas. And now we have the details on the latest in the flat fire burning in Jefferson and Deschutes counties. As of last update, the fire has burned nearly 22,000 acres. According to Deschutes County Sheriff's Office, it's destroyed 4 homes and 6 other buildings. Hundreds more remain within and near the fire perimeter, which is located about 2 miles northeast of Sisters. Here's a look at the latest evacuation map for you. About 4,000 homes are in evacuation zones. About 1,000 of those are under level 3 go now evacuation notices. And a 24-hour evacuation point has been set up at Highland Baptist Church in Redmond. And the Jefferson County Fairgrounds is available for people evacuating large animals.
The Cornelius Fire Department has a brand new state-of-the-art engine. We're going to take a look at it right here. The department says that Engine 8 is replacing a much older fire engine that had been in service for almost 25 years.
Going to be more efficient, fuel economy is going to be better, the emissions coming out of it are better. It has electrical systems that are able to keep up with all the computers and hardware and radios that we have on this equipment, and we're able to tailor the compartments so that they fit the equipment we now carry, which is different than it was 20 years ago.
Community members helped fire officials retire the old engine with a water transfer into the new rig. Then came the push-in ceremony. That's where firefighters, you see right there, get to push that engine into the station for the first time.
Some Portland business owners say that they are facing unfair restrictions on their outdoor dining setups. And the owner of Cafe Nell in Northwest says Peabody has ordered her to change and remove much of her outdoor structure, which went up during the pandemic. She says that they've been cited for multiple infractions, including being too close to an intersection. But she argues that the regulations go against the city's efforts to get more people in the city.
The city should roll out the red carpet to those of us who are digging in deep and trying to stay a part of the community. Sending a business a fine and a threat, that's not working together for a solution.
Peabody says that they gave Cafe Nell 6 months to bring their structure into compliance before they were fined. The owner has made some changes and is now going through an appeal process. Your time now is 8:06. The Nurses Union announced a tentative agreement between its workers and Legacy Mount Hood. The deal includes added worker protections, competitive wages, and dedicated security staffing. The union said it had a marathon mediation session with Legacy after more than 400 nurses voted to authorize a strike if they couldn't reach a deal. The agreement now goes to those nurses for a vote. In a statement, Legacy Health said in part, quote, "We are pleased with this development, which reflects our continued commitment to supporting our nurses and ensuring high quality care for our patients and our communities we serve."
Kids in Vancouver's Evergreen School District will have to wait until next Tuesday to start their school year. It was supposed to start tomorrow, but the district made this decision to push things back after a group of workers, including paraeducators and bus drivers, voted to strike. District leaders say the extra week will give them more time to hammer out a deal with those workers. Here's what their union president had to say.
I'm hoping we can reach an agreement. We really want to go back to work, but we can't do that without a fair contract.
The next mediation session between the two sides is set for today.
The Estacada School District will be releasing students 2 hours early today and tomorrow due to the heat. All athletic practices will end by 4 o'clock. Buildings will be closed and staff will be released by 4 o'clock as well.
Rod, you talked about temperatures still being in the 90s tomorrow. It's the first day of school for a lot of other kids, including Portland Public. And maybe it's going to feel just as bad as it has for the past couple of days because of that humidity.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to notice, I think, a whole lot of change in the heart of the afternoon. Absolutely, Drew. I think you're correct. The humidity factor, when it was 102 back on Friday, the humidity factor was 14%. And it felt like it was 98, actually 4 degrees cooler than that. Then the humidity factor went up to about 20% on Saturday, and then we climbed up to around 28% yesterday. Today we're going to be up to about 30%. So every single day has been getting a little bit more humid, and depending on how you react to the heat, maybe it's feeling worse now than it did for you a couple of days ago. Here's the temperature map right now. We are partly cloudy. We're all dry here on the west side, except for some showers outside of Eugene, 64 degrees down in Duck Country, if you will. We've got cloudiness and showers still showing up on radar over in central and eastern areas. Bend right now is 72. Your forecast in central Oregon, scattered showers, thunderstorms redeveloping this afternoon. Depending on cloud cover, temperatures anywhere from about 80 up into the 90s. It shows Madras at 92. We have seen some rain, according to radar, over that flat fire that's burning, south of Lake Billy Chinook and also getting outside of the Sisters area. I think it's Timothy Lake. I think I misspoke on that. 96 degrees in McMinnville today, 95 Salem, 96 in Corvallis. So again, temperatures well up into the 90s. The heat impact alert still up for hot and somewhat humid weather this afternoon. Still not getting much of a breeze. Southwest Washington not as warm, generally low 90s here. And here's the map this afternoon. The coast will be foggy to some sun and temperatures in the 60s. And here's the 7-day. Portland 95 today, maybe not quite that warm. 93 tomorrow, but certainly still at least 90. And then that's it. Then 84 on Wednesday. There's a rain chance Tuesday night, Wednesday, a second rain chance showing up Wednesday night. And Thursday, a little bit of rain. If we could get something, would feel pretty nice. Here's Chris.
Rain is a good thing, right? All right, hey, giving you some real-time traffic updates here. Photojournalist Eric Patterson manning the wheel of Drive 8. We sent him out to get stuck in traffic so you don't have to. He just made the drive in from the Interstate Bridge, and it took him, looking at my watch, exactly 15 minutes to get from SR 14 to the Morrison Bridge. So I would say that that southbound commute's actually rolling along okay for this hour of a Monday morning ride. 14 minutes is what the Main Street I-405 drive time is pegged at. And right now over on the west side, the inbound Sunset, about 21 minutes or so from Hillsborough. Hey, speaking of the Sunset, we talked about that last week. Repairing the bump out near milepost 13. This will create traffic congestion Monday through Thursday this week. Until about 4:30 each afternoon, as ODOT has that reduced from 4 lanes to 2. The speed limit drops to less than 25 miles an hour. That work continues for at least the next 3 weeks, so just be aware of that. Drew?
Thank you, Chris.
They're cool, they're healthy, they hydrate. They just have lots of benefits to them.
Coming up next here on Sunrise, the latest edition of KGW's Fresh from Oregon series, all about Oregon watermelons. Plus,
in new interviews on NBC News, Vice President J.D. Vance and Russia's foreign minister are offering very different views on the prospects for peace in Ukraine. I'm Alice Barr in Washington with the latest details coming up.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and we hope you've been joining us for The Story each weeknight at 6:30. If you've got a story idea of your own, email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back. When you think of summer, you think of things like the pool, heat, sunscreen, maybe watermelon. So talk about watermelon here for a second. Christine Petawanich brings us more in the latest edition of KGW's Fresh from Oregon series.
Yeah, going. Hello.
Here at the weekly farmers market on Portland's South Waterfront.
Okay, you're at 750.
You can find all sorts of seasonal goodies, including a summer favorite, Oregon watermelons.
It's a big crop for us.
Peter Weber co-owns Barn Frog Farm with Chloe Anderson.
And we're super small, so there's just two of us. The two of us work the whole farm. We don't have any employees on the farm.
While they grow pretty much everything on the farm, this time of year, people flock to their stand for the melons.
We just moved probably maybe 1,000 to 1,500 pounds a week. And we only do 2 markets, the South Waterfront Farmers Market and the Hillsdale Farmers Market on Sunday.
He says in just one season, his farm picks about 8 tons of melons in a 4-month stretch. And it's in these summer months people love that these watermelons are local.
They're cool, they're healthy, they hydrate. They just have lots of benefits to them. They're good.
And while you may have heard of the famous Hermiston watermelons, farms across Oregon grow the juicy gem. Weber's farm is in Lebanon.
And we can get you like the best watermelons that are fresh, local. Go to farmers markets and shop there, and you will get really high-end products like our watermelons. I don't think you can get a better one anywhere in the world.
In South Portland.
On a card?
Christine Padawanich, KGW News.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.
What kind of day will it be, we ask Rod Hill.
One that we have had. I was actually out in the yard I was going to get some stuff done yesterday afternoon because I wasn't doing anything. And then I was like, it's a little hot out here. So then I went back indoors.
So nothing got done yesterday.
So you may not get anything done today either. But eventually this week you will have to get outside and get some things done because temperature is going to be cooling down. Here's the path of what's going on. It's kind of interesting. This is the big upper level high. It's the heat engine, if you will, sitting down over what we call the Four Corners states. And that's throwing moisture clockwise up through Nevada and Utah. And then this surface low grabs that moisture and further spins it into Oregon and helps to produce what's been some showers and at times some scattered thunderstorms. This setup continues today, could continue tomorrow as well. Earlier this morning, down around Eugene, snap, crackle, pop. We had some pretty good lightning strikes. So watch it again in the last 3 hours. It's going to play. There you go. Look at all the lightning just southeast of Eugene. And there's still been some lightning reinvigorate now up to the north. So this is in the Willamette Valley and the Cascade Foothills off on the east side. Some rain in that flat fire area, so that's good. In central Oregon, that borders Jefferson and Deschutes County. Bend and Madras, a little bit of rain out in John Day and Baker City. Lightning becomes possible for you folks as the day moves along. Now, I think tomorrow night, maybe we get something like this, but up in the North Valley over Portland. Here's Futurecast. It's not going to show you much. So we're just kind of looking at the way things are moving. This is tomorrow at 6 o'clock. This shows some thunderstorms down over Burns. And then, well, it doesn't really show you much of anything, does it? The run that came out earlier this morning did show some significant, well, maybe not significant, but some rain over Portland into Wednesday morning. Kind of a similar setup to what's hitting Eugene right now. So although there's not, this is Wednesday noon. This is showing now a heavy shower up in Longview. So the point is, it's not anything organized. The models are just biting on heavy, but they're showing the tendency as we get into tomorrow night and into Wednesday, maybe even into Thursday morning, that at times we could have some spotty to scattered showers and storms here in the Willamette Valley. So that's kind of what we're looking at as forecasters. This is a real hazy look from the Oregon Vetrosome camera out in the Dalles. 72 is the number, no wind being reported. And winds are light pretty much across all areas, including at the coast, including up in the Cascades this morning. These are the current numbers. Bend 72 and the Dalles 72. We've got clouds out east, so temperatures have been holding really warm for you folks. Here's the gorge forecast. Not much of any wind. We'll go partly cloudy and hot. The Dalles nearing 100 again today. Hood River 95, Cascade Locks 94. The valley numbers back up into the mid-90s. Humidity factors running at about 30% this afternoon, the heat of the day, which by our standards is considered humid, but not humid enough to where the heat index is above the temperature. It will still be near to below the temperature, so that's good. All right, Valley up in southwest Washington, Longview 92, Battleground 93. Portland might just get to 95. Impact alert for the hot weather. If we hold 90 to no more than 93 tomorrow, we'll not have the heat alert up any longer, but still hot, especially if you don't have AC. Then we're in the 80s starting Wednesday, and there's that rain chance into Wednesday morning, another one into Thursday morning. I actually have a rain chance into Sunday as well. Of course, this coming weekend is Labor Day weekend, just like that. Here's Chris McGinnis.
All right, let's get you back out onto the roads. Footage journalist Eric Patterson's manning the wheel here of Drive 8. He's headed on Southwest Multnomah Boulevard, and it appears right now that he is being diverted around this injury crash near Southwest 45th Avenue. I'm working to get more details on that, but at this point, it looks like he's not able to get westbound west of 45th Avenue. Again, this is on Southwest Multnomah Boulevard with that injury crash. We'll keep you posted on that for sure. Back to the freeway drive. I-205 southbound is one of our slower spots right now. If you're hopping on the freeway from Clackamas, it is like that all the way down to the Abernathy Bridge in West Lynn. So 8 miles an hour puttering along here from Clackamas to Westland. The speeds do open up once you get south of there. All right, the drive out of Clark County, not bad. 14 minutes, in fact, to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont. That actually is in really good shape for this hour of a Monday morning drive. China?
Thank you, Chris. Summer is starting to come to a close, but not before millions of Americans hit the road and the skies for Labor Day. How busy the travel weekend could get ahead in your national headlines.
Final days of this year's KGW school supply drive are here, so you have until Thursday to help us out and make a donation. One of the easiest ways is to hop online, go to kgw.com/school, click Donate Cash, and when you give online, we'll give you a pass to the Columbia Sportswear Employee Store. You give cash, we'll do the school supply shopping for you. And a big thanks this morning to On Point Community Credit Union, Rick's Custom Fencing, and Safeway for stepping up as our partners this year in the KGW School Supply Drive.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Russia's top diplomat made an appearance on NBC's Meet the Press, talking about how far apart Russia and Ukraine remain, even with the White House pushing for peace.
It comes as Vice President J.D. Vance said that he remains confident the U.S. can broker an end to Russia's war on Ukraine. NBC's Alice Barr brings us the latest from Washington, D.C.
With Russia's assault on Ukraine showing no sign of slowing down, targeting energy infrastructure and an American-owned electronics factory in recent days, two very different views are emerging from the U.S. and Russia about the prospects for peace. Vice President J.D. Vance pointing to progress after President Trump met separately with Russian President Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky.
This is the energetic diplomacy that's going to bring this war to a close.
While Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov threw cold water on the president's push for a Putin-Zelensky meeting.
There is no meeting planned. Putin is ready to meet with Zelensky when the agenda would be ready for a summit. And this agenda is not ready at all.
Lavrov noting that key issues, including security guarantees for Ukraine and disputes over territory, remain unresolved.
Zelensky said no to everything. How can we meet with a person who is pretending to be a leader?
Vice President Vance asked on NBC's Meet the Press whether Russia is stringing President Trump along.
No, not at all, Kristen. I think the Russians have made significant concessions to President Trump for the first time in 3.5 years of this conflict.
The president again weighing Russia sanctions.
Massive sanctions or massive tariffs or both? Or do we do nothing and say it's your fight?
While in Ukraine, Sunday, a celebration of 34 years of independence with a grave threat hanging over the years to come. There is one new positive sign as Russia and Ukraine carried out another large-scale prisoner exchange, swapping 164 prisoners of war from each side and offering hopes they can still make progress. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to your morning rush. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man who was mistakenly deported to an El Salvador prison, was taken back into ICE custody this morning. Abrego Garcia was released from federal custody on parole last week. Then, minutes after his release, immigration authorities said that they intend to deport him to Uganda. The Trump administration says he's a member of MS-13, a claim his attorneys denied, but his lawyers say that he illegally immigrated to the U.S. when he was 16 to join his brother in Maryland to escape gang violence in El Salvador. The U.S. National Guard troops that are deployed in Washington, D.C. are now carrying firearms. According to a Defense Department official, many will be carrying their service-issued weapon, M17 pistols. This comes as Chicago Democratic leaders push back on President Donald Trump's plan to deploy the Guard to their city. In Northern California wine country, the picket fire has grown to more than 6,800 acres and is 11% contained. Hundreds of people are now under evacuation orders. An air quality advisory has been issued due to smoke from the fire. And gearing up for your last summer getaway, well, you will not be alone here. Record crowds are expected on the roads and at the airports for Labor Day weekend. But there's some good news here. The cost of flights and hotels, car rentals, and gas prices are all on the lower end right now. And that's a look at your morning rush.
Coming up in our next half hour, street takeovers all over the city kept Portland police busy over the weekend. We'll have the latest on their enforcement missions. Plus,
the weather was super intense, but we all made it through. Nobody passed out, so we were good.
well, nobody from her team at the very least, right? These runners making their way to the beach after a long day and night in Hood to Coast. We'll have more details on this story coming up.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm Drew Carney. Kids in Vancouver's Evergreen School District will have to wait until next Tuesday to start their school year. It was supposed to start tomorrow, but the district made a decision to push it back after a group of workers in the district, including paraeducators and bus drivers, voted to strike. District leaders say this extra week will give them more time to hammer out a deal. The next mediation session between the two sides is set for today. All right, Rob, what do you have for us?
And today it's going to be hot again as we get back up into the low to mid 90s in the Willamette Valley. You folks in Salem likely to be back up into the mid 90s. Right now 65 degrees. Portland, partly cloudy skies and 67. So pretty warm out the door. 80 at noon. Going to be a touch on the humid side again out there this afternoon as we get up to about 94 at 5 o'clock. Temperatures on our 7-day forecast, 95 today. Tomorrow still looks to be the final day of at least making it up to 90, but not as hot as it's been. And then we actually have a rain chance tomorrow night and Wednesday, and again Wednesday night into Thursday. You can see the temperatures in the 80s for highs.
Good morning. We're starting your 8:30 half hour with a live look from our sky cam at the Oregon Zoo. Usually we see goats, but we're not today. It looks pretty nice out there. Some clouds, but it's going to be a little bit of a sticky situation today, Rod.
A sticky situation, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. No way to make that sound good, is there?
Probably not.
I was thinking of some way to spin it positively. Can't do it. Here's a look at Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. We have cloudy skies. We have some fog. This was the scene yesterday as the sunny 80s went bye-bye. And today you'll be in the 60s again, generally speaking. Right now, 59. Portland, this is a sunnier view than one we just saw up in the West Hills at the Oregon Zoo. Partly cloudy and 67. Humidity factors were in the teens back on Friday. They were in the upper 20s yesterday. I think that humidity continues to increase today up to around 30%. So you'll notice that. 80 at noon, and then at 5 o'clock about 94 for a temperature. We've got active showers right now in central and eastern areas of our state. And we've actually had a thunderstorm cluster down east of Eugene, obviously on this side of the Cascades on the west side. So we're watching that. We'll be dry in Salem, Portland, and up into Kelso, Longview. Again, generally speaking, low to mid 90s expected in the valley. Now on the 7-day, today is the last day we have in red for an impact alert for mid 90s. 95 would actually tie the record if we make it. I'm not sure we will or not. Tomorrow, 90 to 93, the final day of at least making it to 90. We have the rain chance. I mentioned Eugene, some thunderstorms this morning just outside of town. We could have some showers and maybe some thunder here in the North Valley tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Another chance Wednesday night into Thursday. The bigger story, well, equal story, I guess, is that we're going to be cooling down to the 80s. 84, 82, 85. And then, of course, this upcoming weekend is Labor Day weekend. Forecast is highly uncertain right now. By that, I mean highly uncertain. But I've got 80s on the board currently with a chance of rain into Sunday. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We're in the cleanup phase here. We are looking live right now on Southwest Multnomah Boulevard. Photojournalist Eric Patterson's on the scene here. This two-car crash. Not sure of any injuries at this point, but obviously you can see there's a bit of a mess there to clean up. The airbags have been deployed, and right now westbound Multnomah Boulevard is still being diverted near Capitol Highway. We'll zoom in real quick. Eric tells us that the westbound commuters are being diverted up Southwest 37th Avenue while they work to get that crash scene clear. All right, back to our freeway drive. The slowest 4 miles of real estate right now in Portland, at least on the freeways, is southbound 205. 4.5 miles gets you from Clackamas to West Lynn in about 20 minutes or so. You're puttering along at 8 miles an hour, so a really slow commute there. You can see the drive live here coming off the Abernathy Bridge, so that's pretty thick. And again, that's probably the slowest of our commutes. The I-5 and the I-205 drive out of Clark County not looking bad. The Sunset over on the west side, that takes you about 21 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Drew, China?
All right, thank you, Chris. Multnomah County is reporting Portland's first potential death from this ongoing heat wave. The county says a 56-year-old man was found dead on Saturday. Officials didn't give an exact location, only saying that he was found in or near the Pearl District. It could be weeks or even months before the man's death is officially determined to be heat-related.
Washington County has opened no turnaway shelters that will remain open until tonight. They're located at the Just Compassion Access Center on Southwest Hall Boulevard in Tigard and the Blanton Street building in Aloha. Hot meals will be provided for guests, and again, the shelters are set to close at 7 this evening.
All right, we have some tips from the Oregon Humane Society as far as keeping your pets safe during the heat wave. Most of this is common sense, but some of it is definitely worth repeating. For example, if your pet is outdoors, they say you definitely need to make sure you provide them with shade or a misting hose for them to cool off. Also, you've heard this before, but it bears repeating because we have seen cases where this goes bad. Please never leave your car running with your animal inside. Again, this is information from the Oregon Humane Society.
North Portland's Peninsula Park Pool is staying open an extra 2 weeks amid this heat wave. The pool was supposed to shut down last week for maintenance, but will now be open through September 5th.
I think that's great. The heat is so tremendous this summer that it'll be great to have for the pool open, and just an extra couple days makes a difference.
Pier Pool in North Portland and Creston in Southeast Portland will also remain open until the 5th.
Another warning from Water Patrol officers. Wear your life jacket.
Of all of the recreational drownings that we've seen, no life jacket.
Wearing a life jacket, staying hydrated, it gets hot and you can get dehydrated really quickly, and just always keeping an eye on each other and especially the little ones.
As important as wearing your life jacket, of course, avoid alcohol when you're recreating on the water. Stay with KGW. We'll have continuing coverage of today's heat wave. You can look for updates to the forecast right here on the air, online, or at kgw.com.
In your morning headlines, police arrested a man in North Portland following an hours-long standoff after he reportedly fired shots inside a home and then tried to break into a neighbor's home. So I'm going to walk you through what happened here. It started around 11:30 Saturday night near Northmore Avenue and Ainsworth Street. Police say that after firing shots and walking out of his home with a gun in hand, 40-year-old Ryan Latin climbed onto the roof of a neighbor's house and tried to break in. He then climbed under some trash cans and hid from police, but that's when police issued a shelter-in-place and evacuated the home.
Situations like this can quickly unfold, and they're resource intensive. Not only are we trying to contain the person and come up with contingencies for what if the suspect does this or what if they do this, and how can we best communicate with this person.
After nearly 2 hours, the man gave himself up. No one was hurt, and police seized a handgun.
In Southeast Portland, police officers and firefighters both responded after a man armed with a knife threatened staff at a group home. This happened just after 5 o'clock Sunday morning at Southeast 143rd and Betts Court. When officers arrived to respond to that threat, they say they learned that the home was also on fire, so staff and residents were evacuated. And that's also when the suspect, 35-year-old Timothy Allen, came outside, they say still armed with a knife, but police were eventually able to arrest him.
A street takeover also kept Portland police busy over the weekend. Despite a 10-hour police enforcement mission aimed at preventing the takeovers, police received reports of street racing involving up to 100 cars in the St. John's neighborhood early Sunday morning. And then a short while later, the racing had moved to the Lloyd district. But at the time, all available officers were responding to another incident, meaning only one officer could respond to the takeovers. And just after 4:15 Sunday morning, officers did stop a driver doing donuts, towed their vehicle, and seized a stolen firearm. And the original mission, officers made 29 stops, towed 6 cars, and then arrested 2 people.
Some new developments to share in the search for Travis Decker, the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters in central Washington roughly 3 months ago. The FBI closed down the Rock Island campground near Leavenworth. The bodies of Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker were found near that campground. So the plan here is to keep the area closed until Wednesday. A law enforcement analyst and former King County Sheriff told our sister station in Seattle that this closure is likely aimed more at finding evidence in the case, not necessarily about finding Decker. Multnomah County officials say 6 runners were hospitalized during this weekend's Hood to Coast relay with heat-related symptoms. But despite the heat, we still saw a lot of smiles, as you can see right here, from runners in Seaside as they crossed the finish line. KGW's John Adams brings us more from the coast.
3, 2, 1, away they go!
What started near Timberline Lodge on Mount Hood early Friday ended in Seaside on Saturday. The nearly 200 miles in between, a battle against oppressive heat.
It was hot, but we did awesome. It was kind of a grind with the heat, but we all made it, and everybody is injury-free, and so we're thankful for that.
The teams, made up of 8 to 12 runners, fought record-breaking temperatures in some spots along the route on Friday. The late August heat wave making the already difficult relay even tougher.
It's really hot. Yes, blazing.
I have sweat dripping down my butt crack right now. I'm getting ready to start my first leg.
Hood to Coast organizers provided plenty of water and had roving medical responders throughout the route due to the extreme heat. But once they crossed the finish line,
and enjoy the celebration and the achievement that you have done together.
Runners were able to reflect on a Hood to Coast that will surely be remembered.
It was great. The weather was super intense, but we all made it through. Nobody passed out, so we were good.
Here we are on the beach, and so it was a pretty great PTC this year.
John Adams, KGW News.
All right, your time now is 8:39. Taking a look at traffic with Chris.
Yeah, and speaking of the coast, if you're heading there this weekend, the North Oregon Coast, a reminder, we talked about this a lot last week, but this project is repairing of the bump on Highway 26 near milepost 13. This is at least a 4-week-long project, so traffic this week, next, and the following week. Expect heavy delays as 4 lanes get reduced to 2. It's just east of Nicanicum. That's from 6 a.m. to 4:30. ODOT, of course, giving a reprieve during the heavier weekend traffic. That's Monday, or I should say Friday through Sunday, and of course Monday being the Labor Day holiday. All right, back to that update in Southwest Portland. Photojournalist Eric Patterson's on the scene of this 2-car crash on Multnomah Boulevard. It looks like they've now got this clear. This is near Capitol Highway. East and westbound traffic is now flowing through there. No word on any injuries, but you can see it looks like the airbags were deployed, and obviously some work to do to repair that. But the drive right now is rolling again on that side of town. All right, let's get back to the freeway. 205 South, Clackamas to West Lynn is our slowest stretch of freeway right now. We're puttering along at about 8 miles an hour between Clackamas and West Lynn. The exit, once you get south of West Lynn, traffic does open up a bit there. Guys?
All right, thank you, Chris. Postal deliveries to the United States are on hold all around the country, or around the world, that is, after a new order by President Trump. What it means for your online shopping and why small businesses say it's hurting them. Sunrise continues after this.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and we hope you've been joining us for The Story each weeknight at 6:30. If you've got a story idea of your own, email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will...
Checker, checker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hi, everybody. Partly cloudy. Feels pretty.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Postal services across the world are pausing shipments to the United States this week due to confusion over a new import policy set to begin on Friday.
President Trump signed an executive order last month getting rid of what some refer to as a trade loophole. Here's NBC's Brian Chung with the latest.
This morning, global mail carriers suspending deliveries to the U.S. amid confusion over new import duties.
I won't be able to send you anything. Hopefully we can get this kind of figured out soon. I don't know what you guys are doing over there.
Postal services in Australia, India, New Zealand, the UK, and parts of Europe say they will stop shipping parcels to the States before the end of a trade exemption known as de minimis, which since 2016 had allowed goods worth up to $800 to enter the U.S. duty-free. But per an executive order signed by President Trump last month, goods coming in from abroad less than $800 will be slapped with country-specific tariff rates starting Friday.
The vast majority of my customer base is in the US. I can't pass this on to my customers. So as of last night, I've had to close my store completely,
leaving small businesses and consumers concerned about shipping backlogs.
And with the couriers, we just don't know what's going to be happening.
DHL, one of the world's largest courier companies, will stop accepting parcels destined for the U.S. starting today, citing unresolved key questions about the process.
That just adds more uncertainty into an already very confusing picture around tariffs and how they're going to impact us here in the United States.
The change could cost consumers a staggering $13 billion overall. The cost breakdown, $80 per item for countries with a tariff rate of less than 16%, $160 per item for countries with rates between 16 and 25%, and $200 per item for countries with rates above 25%. Those small dollar costs amounting to big picture concerns for the economy, as Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell signaled late last week that rate cuts could be on the horizon.
The shifting balance of risks may warrant adjusting our policy stance.
All right, your time now is 8:45. We are taking a live look outside over the Rose City. It is a weather impact alert day, and things may get a little sticky later today. So, Rod, you're up on the roof.
Yes, I'm better than looking outside. I'm in the outside, the great outdoors, if you will. This is certainly the comfortable part of our day. Feels pretty good up here. We're in the mid to upper 60s around downtown Portland right now, up on the KGW weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. It's just a mixture of partly cloudy skies. I don't really see any of the leaves or flags moving. Winds are pretty much exactly calm up here. I do want to get to the radar. You know, we had thunderstorms fire yesterday in central and eastern Oregon. Also seeing quite a bit of rain in those areas this morning, as you can see. Bend, Madras. That includes some rain over the Flat Fire, which straddles Deschutes and Jefferson County. So good news there. Now, earlier this morning, we tracked lightning strikes down around the Eugene area. And on radar, we're still seeing some of that action this morning. I'm going to ask my director, Brian Matthews, to hit the button for me to change the maps. Brian, you got it? So we can zoom in. Here he comes. You're going to see the zoom in to, yeah, look at those strikes. They've actually migrated northward, up around Lebanon, and up as far north as areas of eastern Marion County. So we're keeping an eye on that lightning situation. Let's switch the map and get you to what's going on here more locally as you step outside. We have the impact alert up for another hot day in the low to mid 90s in the valley. Humidity levels today could hit 30% in the heat of the afternoon. That would be higher than we have seen so far. That just adds to the uncomfortableness of it outdoors. And a reminder, if you start feeling any heat exhaustion at all, take a break, get AC, find shade, and make sure you hydrate yourself. Here is the next map coming and our temperatures outside as we look at the Rose City Sky Camera. Hit the button, and still 67 degrees outdoors right now. Other temperatures around the area with no wind. Here they are. 65 down in Salem with some thunderstorms now in parts, as I mentioned, of eastern Marion County. So we keep an eye on that. We have temperatures in the 70s in Bend and John Day with cloudiness and rain in the area. Our forecast numbers for today for the valley, still up to about 96 in Salem, no longer a threat of reaching 100, which we did back on Friday and Saturday, but still well up into the 90s. Humidity levels, impact heat alert for the hot temperatures. Southwest Washington, not as toasty, but still at least up into the 90s. This shows Longview, Kelso at 91 degrees for a high temperature. And our 7-day, so yesterday wasn't as hot as I thought we'd be. We hit 95. I think we're going to be pretty close to 95 today with the impact alert up for the hot weather. Tomorrow, we're not alerting right now, but it still looks like it will be the final day of at least reaching 90 or maybe 91, 2 or 3. And then by Wednesday, we're back down into the 80s. We have a rain chance Tuesday night and a Wednesday, and another one on Wednesday night and a Thursday. Nothing I can guarantee, just looking at the overall patterns and realizing better chance we could see some thunder and lightning in the North Valley as you wake up Wednesday morning. Okay, it is birthday time. And we start today's celebration with Stella, who is 4 today. Happy birthday. Beautiful photo there. Gabriella is the big 4-0 today. Hope you have a wonderful time with your friends and family celebrating. Brad is 66 today. Happy birthday to you. And Dan celebrating 82 out in Hillsboro. Hope you have a great time today, sir. Looks like he's doing some traveling there recently. Birthdays at KGW.com, and we will celebrate with you. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We take you back to the Abernathy Bridge, I-205 southbound, puttering along a little bit through the construction zone. And I've been highlighting this for the last half an hour or so because it's basically the slowest stretch of Portland Freeway right now between Clackamas and, I don't know why we're going over there. I want to show you the ride between Clackamas and West Lynn, which is moving along at about 8 miles an hour or so. There you go. So plan a few extra minutes on that side of town. Elsewhere, the rest of our freeway drive has actually been pretty kind to us on this Monday morning commute. 18 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough on Highway 26. The drive over the Columbia, both I-5 and I-205, are not in bad shape at all. 15 minutes right now is your I-5 drive. That's from Main Street south to the Fremont Bridge.
All right, thank you, Chris. Quick reminder, these are the final days of this year's KGW School Supply Drive. You only have until Thursday to make a donation. So one of the easiest ways to get on board the next few days is to hop online. Go to kgw.com/school, click Donate Cash. We'll do the school supply shopping for you. When you give cash online, by the way, we're also going to give you a pass to the Columbia Sportswear Employee Store. A big thanks this morning to On Point Community Credit Union, Rick's Custom Fencing, and Safeway for stepping up as partners in this year's KGW School Supply Drive.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Here's a wrap of your top stories this morning. Kids in Vancouver's Evergreen School District will have to wait until next Tuesday, September 2nd, to start their school year. It was supposed to start tomorrow, but the district made the decision after a group of workers, including paraeducators and bus drivers, voted to strike. District leaders say the extra week gives them more time to hammer out a deal. The Nurses Union announced a tentative agreement between its workers and Legacy Mount Hood. The deal includes added worker protections, competitive wages, and dedicated security staffing. In a statement, Legacy Health said in part, quote, "We are pleased with this development, which reflects our continued commitment to supporting our nurses." That agreement now goes to those nurses for a vote. And the flat fire burning in Jefferson and Deschutes counties has burned nearly 22,000 acres. The Deschutes County Sheriff's Office says that the fire has destroyed 4 homes and 6 other buildings. Hundreds more remain within and near the fire perimeter, which is located about 2 miles northeast of Sisters.
They did achieve 5% containment yesterday around that fire. It doesn't sound like much, but that's a positive step forward. 95 in Portland this afternoon. We still have the 7-day highlighted in red for today for an impact alert for the hot day. Tomorrow, we're not alerting. It doesn't look like much improvement, but low 90s would be in the right direction. And by Wednesday, we have a shower chance and highs only in the 80s.
Let's get back to your drive. The slowest Portland freeway right now is that. That is I-205. Yeah, that's not fun. Through the construction zone over the Abernathy Bridge. Both directions are running extra slow. I don't have any crashes or disabled vehicles or anything to report. It's just slow right now. In fact, it's 4 miles an hour slow to get you from, excuse me, double that, 8 miles an hour
Still
to
slow.
get you. Still slow from Clackamas to West Lynn. Also, watch out for a stalled vehicle right now. This just popped up southbound I-5, just south of the Markham Bridge. That is starting to bunch up the drive there. It's just a little bit, but boy, that's, you know that drive. You've been over that bridge a few times.
I guess we could stare at this traffic jam for the final minute of our show this morning, or we could show you some dogs on surfboards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a much better way to end the Sunrise Show. More than 25 dogs join their owners for the Ocean Fest Surfer Fur competition in Hawaii. F-U-R. See that?
Yeah.
Some pets rode the waves with their owners. Some of them did it by themselves. This was the 10th year of the competition. Any more video? Any other cool trick? There they go.
Oh, in a lawn chair.
Oh, look at that. I knew it was worth sticking around for.
Where's the beer?
Got what at the end?
Again, that was in Hawaii, the Surf Fur competition gang. There you go.
I like that.
What do you like about it?
Well, I really like the lawn chair. I like that the dog's just kind of hanging out, thinking this ain't so bad.
Do you think Maximus
Look
would
at
do that?
Up and down,
Would
just
you be that
chilling.
chill?
Just chilling, coming all the way home. That does it for this edition of the Sunrise Show on your Monday morning. We'll bring you the Tuesday edition of Sunrise, of course, tomorrow. We hope to see you starting at 5 o'clock. Every day we go until 9 o'clock. The final 2 hours can be seen right here on KGW+.